This is Business Week Armenia, CivilNet's weekly economic digest. Here's what's making business headlines in Armenia this week. Construction of a major new transit route across southern Armenia is set to begin in the second half of next year, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has announced. Speaking at a parliamentary question and answer session this week, Pashinyan said he expects details to be finalized in the first half of next year, followed by the launch of construction in the second half. It marks the first time Armenia has publicly given a concrete timeline on the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity, or TRIP. The planned route forms a key part of the U.S.-brokered peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan, signed in August. It would connect mainland Azerbaijan and its Nakhichevan exclave through Armenia's southernmost Sunnik region. As part of the agreement, U.S. companies will have exclusive development and management rights to the potentially lucrative project for 99 years. In September, Brendan Hanrahan, a senior U.S. diplomat, revealed plans to invest $145 million in the infrastructure needed for the project, the first time the United States indicated how much it expects to spend on the route. Details were not immediately made available, including whether the funding had already been approved by Congress and when it will be made available. At the time, Armenian officials appeared to suggest they expect the total amount of U.S. investment to be higher, with Deputy Prime Minister Meher Grigoryan describing the $145 million package as a first tranche of funding. U.S. officials have so far not provided clarity on that. The route could unlock major economic benefits for Armenia by stimulating trade and investment and integrating the landlocked country with global transport networks. In August, the global ratings agency Fitch underscored that point by suggesting a lasting peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan could improve both countries' credit ratings. Fitch, alongside other major ratings agencies Moody's and S&P, currently rates Armenia's creditworthiness as speculative grade, also commonly known as junk. According to Fitch, a peace deal that opens up new regional transit routes could boost Armenia's economic growth, reduce foreign exchange market volatility, and shrink fiscal deficits. Armenia moved closer to stripping the country's main power distributor of its operating license after the state regulator published a new draft decision proposing to revoke Electric Networks of Armenia's permit. The state regulator, the Public Services Regulatory Commission, held a tense hearing on Thursday, attended by both the government-approved temporary managers of ENA and representatives of the company's owners. The regulator cited multiple violations, including alleged falsification of company documents, as it formally opened proceedings. The draft decision sets out the legal grounds for voiding the license. It marks the latest twist in the ongoing saga over the fate of ENA, which holds a monopoly of Armenia's low-voltage power grid. Efforts by the government to seize the company began in June, when law enforcement arrested the company's billionaire owner, Samvel Karapetyan, on charges of making calls for regime change. Shortly after that, lawmakers passed a bill allowing the government to seize control of ENA, while law enforcement launched raids on dozens of locations apparently connected to Karapetyan as part of a probe into his sprawling business empire. After his arrest, investigators slapped Karapetyan, a dual Armenian-Russian citizen, with additional charges of fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. Karapetyan's lawyers reject the charges against him and call them politically motivated. Karapetyan's family has since filed a $500 million claim against Armenia in a global arbitration body, demanding compensation for what they allege is a violation of an international investment treaty. That case, which is being heard by the Stockholm Chamber of Commerce in Sweden, remains ongoing. The government's move to seize ENA have spooked the private sector, with a number of prominent business leaders and former senior officials warning it could threaten Armenia's attractiveness to foreign investors. They also point out that Armenia already faces a number of other potentially costly arbitration claims. Those suits also remain ongoing. Despite that criticism, Pashinyan has continued to insist that improving the country's business environment is a priority for this administration. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.